with regards to the sins, with regards to Allah Ta'ala's disobedience, we consider this as a very minor matter. And this is the reason, the cause for every problem and for every issue and worry in our life. Because when we think that a sin is a very small thing and it doesn't matter, then that person's destruction begins at that time. Why? Why does this occur? Because gunah, sin, when we consider it as insignificant, why does this cause destruction for us? It was when a sin becomes a minor matter for us, and in our eyes and our hearts and minds there's nothing, no magnitude attached to that sin, then that person doesn't leave that sin. He continues with that sin. Because for me, if I sin and I think, oh, this sin is a small thing, it's a minor matter, it doesn't matter at all, I don't care, then I won't leave that sin. That's the reason why a human being doesn't leave sinning. It doesn't make any difference. It's okay. It's not going to make any difference. So what happens then is that the individual doesn't reject the sin, doesn't leave the sin, doesn't shun the sin, then he sins and he sins and he sins and he sins, and then that person is buried under the mountain of sins. One sin is enough to destroy a human being. So imagine when mountain of sins is above our heads, that a person's not leaving sin, he's sinning and collecting sins and collecting sins and collecting sins, then imagine the situation that faces that human being when he sins so much, when he implements so many gunas. How can that person hope for good? How can that person think that Allah don't want problems and difficulties and worries? This is nothing in the world what he will see. The reality will face is straight after death, after maut. What's the reason? What's the reason? Because we have considered today sins to be minor. We think sins are small, and then we don't think about leaving the sins. We don't care about the sins. And if someone tells us that this is a sin, we say, oh, it's okay, leave it. Don't tell me what to do. And then mutawatir, continuous, we sin and the sins pile up, and then that human being is buried under the sins upon loss and Allah's displeasure. And this is the biggest attack of shaitan today on mankind, that he doesn't enjoy making people sin. He likes it when he presents the sin as a small thing. All night he'll make you wake up, do ibadah. In the morning, oh, I'm fine, I can sin. And this is the tactic of shaitan. He doesn't let the human being feel that he has sinned. When a person does zina first time, he'll feel bad. Second time, third time, and fourth time he'll do zina. Openly, publicly he'll do zina. Because he's confident and he'll tell people, oh, I did this, I enjoyed it, it was good. And he'll start showing off to people and sharing, because his modesty is gone. So the first test of Iman, when a person does sin, his body shakes, he trembles a bit. And then when a person loses haya, behayai in the beginning, but when a person's behaya, loses modesty, then the man, the woman, they have no shame. They don't care when they sin. And they openly, confidently sin. First, shaitan will make you sin once, you'll feel bad. Then the second time, a little bit less bad. Third time, he'll make you think the sin is a very small thing. Then he'll make you sin bigger actions. Then he'll make that sin look small and a minor. Because shaitan's biggest tactic today is to present the sin to man as a minor matter. He will never make you think that sinning is a big thing. What's the reason for this? Look at the reason. Because Allah knows how shaitan plays his games. That Allah Ta'ala made us such that yes, we can sin. Allah said that if you don't sin, then I will create another nation of mankind who I will make sin. Allah said, I will make them sin. And then they will turn to me with repentance. So eventually what this means is that Allah Ta'ala has put inside us the ability, the capacity to sin. And we go towards sin. We do. But Allah Ta'ala has presented then the solution for this, isn't it? And that solution that Allah has created, He has made that eliminated from our lives. So what shaitan's done is that he doesn't want us to get to Allah. So what shaitan has done is that he has diminished and evaporated the solution that's given to us. For example, here's a cloth here. There's a big stain on this cloth. So I'll run quickly to clean that stain, won't I? A little bit of a splash, black spot. I'll say, oh, it's okay, I'll clean it later, doesn't matter. Little bit of a spot, little bit of dirt, can't see it, no one can see it. If it's big spot, big splash, I'll run to wash the clothes. So when the sin in our eyes and minds is not big, when we don't think a sin is big, then we'll say, oh, it's okay, I'll deal with it later on. So in reality, no sin is small. Every sin is a big stain on the clothes. And whoever thinks the sin is a minor stain, small speck, then what is the hal of that person? The hadith will tell us, because no one will listen if I say it. So listen to the hadith. If anyone in their minds thinks a sin is small, doesn't matter. Oh, I don't care. And the sin is disobeying Allah. And it's proven from Quranic verse or hadith. And the scholars have commentated on those verses in hadith. The muftis, the scholars, the ulama. And they present the reference of the Quranic verse or the hadith. And we say, no, it's not sin. Oh, it's not here, I can do it here. Or it's difficult for me. And dalil, you give dalil. And he gives dalil of shaitan. That can sin. Because for the sinner, the shaitan is Bhagwan. He is the God, the Lord, and the Master. He says, it's okay, look, don't tell me to leave the sins. It doesn't make any difference. It's okay, oh, Allah doesn't look at these things. It's not important. That's it. If a person has this ideology in mindset, Allahu Akbar, then the example of Fir'aun, Thamud, and Ad, and all these other examples of the Quran match that person. Imagine that what did these previous leaders and people do? Look at Fir'aun. Look at these leaders who lived, that they did zina. They committed adultery, fornication, and their brains were overwhelmed with the sin, and the haya disappeared, their modesty disappeared, the shame disappeared. Look how much haya has gone today. You brothers knows, everyone who's listening in every country, go to any place in the world today, look around. What has the link of haya with our lives today? Haya, modesty. Is there any shame in the world today? Or is it gone? Izzat, respect is gone, because sin has increased so much that it has burnt haya away today. And we call ourselves Muslims. I'm the best Muslim, I am a worshipper. Subhanallah. Reason? What's the reason? Listen to the reason, which is a severe reason. Because sin, shaitan has put sin in front of us, but he's made it look small, minor. A person, a mu'min, doesn't reject his sin, but he says it doesn't make any difference. And this is where shaitan has brought us today. And why shaitan does this? Because he had a very clever game. And this is what we need to fight today. This point I'm making today, we need to fight this game of shaitan. That when I think in my brain that this sin is small, then consider shaitan has won the game. Never should this concept come in my mind and my heart. Never should this ideology develop where I think a sin, one sin is not important. This is a very important point to make today. Because this concept, never let this increase in your brains, in your minds, in your hearts. Straight away think, what did the Quran say about those people who thought the sin was a minor thing? Never should you even imagine that a sin is a minor thing. Because shaitan now has presented sin to you as a minor thing. For this reason, Allah Ta'ala said, I've prepared the solution for you. Say Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Allah's prepared the solution. All night long you've played games and sinned and done wrong. And you challenged Allah, you rejected Allah, you ate and drank and zina and disobedience. And look how much a human being can sin. But what is the solution? Allah Ta'ala says, what does the shaitan tell us about that sin? What do he say? No, it's not a big deal, don't worry. But if I say, no, Allah, I played games, Allah, I enjoyed myself and I wasted time, but it's not a small sin, then what is the solution Allah's made for us? Subhanallah. All night long you did zina, sinned. Allah said, come back to me, Subhanallah. Say it once to Allah, your Rabb, that Allah, I have turned back to you. Allah says, say to me once, come to me, my human being. Mourning, alcohol, sin, shaitan, zina. Come to Fajr and say, Allah, forgive me. Allah says, see that you haven't even said it, the sentence isn't even finished. And Allah said, see how I will forgive you. Allah Ta'ala said that I will equate you to my friends, Ghafoor ar-Rahim. I won't just eliminate that sin. I will eliminate that sin. I will wipe it away from the charge sheet of the angels. It will not be written in your book of records. The promise to us, the enemy said to Hazrat Udayf and the other Sahabi, that we'll let you go, but when you go to Medina, you won't fight against us. Promise that you won't fight against us. And they said, yes, we promised you, these two Sahaba. And they told Rasulullah this story. So Rasulullah's beloved Nabi, we promised him, but now we are here with you. We didn't say this for real. We were just pretending so we could get out of their grip. So we can come to you, so we can escape. So now we're here with you, tell us what to do. We are mashallah with you and we will join with you. Rasulullah's answer, Subhanallah. Allah's Nabi said, no way. Impossible. No way will you join us. Go back. Go back away from this Maidan. You promised to them, you will not fight against them, so fulfill your promise. Subhanallah. And the next statement Rasulullah said, that we Muslims We Muslims, we never break our promises. We never break our commitments. Allah is enough for us. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Imagine how much importance there must be, weight on the promise of a Muslim. And we who don't break the promises, will there be a punishment? Of course there'll be a punishment. Of course there'll be a punishment. What a big sin it must be. Now we've seen the example, there's no small sin. Remember I told you this, sin equals punishment. No sin equals small. So what's the punishment? In hadith of Mishkat, Hazrat Anas radiyallahu anhu narrates his hadith. Imagine the punishments of the sins. What punishments Allah Ta'ala set us up. Every sin has a punishment attached to it. Every sin. La dini lamanna ahada. Allahu Akbar. This is the hadith. La dina. That individual, liman ahada, who breaks his promises openly, blatantly, la dini. That person is devoid of deen. He has no deen, no iman. Who breaks his promises, breaks his commitments. Now tell me, that has shaitan not presented this sin as a small thing today? And what azab will we get on the day of judgment? We do everything, worship, pious, ibadah, but we break promises, we break commitments. In our homes, we promise our children, we break them. We promise to the wife, we break them. We promise relatives, we break them. We promise in business, we break the promises. Buying and selling, we make promises, we break them.